Hey, what's going on? Matthew Taman here. Welcome to today's live training session. Another awesome, exciting time. So for those of you that signed up, welcome. That are watching right now, welcome. You're definitely going to learn something amazing, and we're going to cover different things. Now, I usually create these videos, based on the need. So I get companies that reach out to me and they sign up and they want to learn about different things. So I cover those. So what I'm doing today is going over some of the things that you guys have reached out to me about. And for those that haven't signed up yet, you can always go to learnjoomlafast.com. You can either sign up for the courses or the live training that we can be able to do specifically for your needs. And today I wanted to go over with you guys. Let me see. Let's go over web hosting. So I briefly talked about web hosting before, but I didn't go into a lot of details. Now, what I want to do is I want to help you understand what web hosting is and why it's so important for you to know the type of server that you need to pick. Now, when it comes to hosting your websites, there's tons of Joomla web hosting companies out there. So I'm not going to get into the debate of this and that. I do have my recommendations. So I'm going to share that with you later on. And for those of you that I've done other sessions with, I've already given you my recommendations for those, so you can definitely sign up with them because I trust those companies. But I want to use these two sites as examples. So when you are looking to host your Joomla website, you need to understand what goes into that. You need to understand about the different types of servers that you can choose from, and which one is best based on your type of business. This is very important. Every business doesn't need the same type of web hosting, okay? There's some companies that need one and other companies don't. So let's take a look right now at this first one here. This is Roshan, and I think I'm saying that name right, Roshan. Well, anyway, you get it. You can see, you can read right there. So, I haven't used them, so I'm not even going to say, yeah, I've used them. I recommend them and they're the best in the world. I'm putting them out because this is who Joomla uses to host their, their website. The Joomla.org is hosted by them. So I figure, if Joomla uses them, they must be good. I might be wrong again. I don't know. I'm not knocking them and I'm not endorsing them. I'm just saying. So when you're looking to host your website, you see here they have one site and they have multiple sites. Generally speaking, you always want to go with a package that gives you multiple sites. Now, based on the type of website that you have, let me backtrack, okay? Let me backtrack on that first. So what I mean by multiple sites is if you intend to host more than one domain name, which is your website.com, and other people's websites. So if you want to start a web hosting business with Joomla where you hosting other clients' website, then you need a server that allows you to host multiple websites. So based on the packaging that they have here, this here is host 10 sites. And for 10 sites, you get 60 gigabytes of SSD web storage. Now, SSD is a lot faster than HDD. Okay, so there's a difference. So I'm going to go over that in just a second. So you have one site. If you're just getting started, you don't want to host anyone else's website. You just want to focus on just your startup. Then you need to get something that, is just this one site. And you have 20 gigabytes of SSD storage. So what that means is that all the files that are on your website cannot exceed the 20 gigs for this package. So if you have more than 20 gigs, then you would have to upgrade to more to get more storage space. Now, storage space is something that can be a little bit tricky for the average website owner. Now, I'm just speaking from research and from working with a whole lot of different startup companies, mid-sized companies. If you are just getting started, okay, you don't have a ton of content, you don't have, a lot of images, you don't have a lot of things going on, the 20 gigs is more than sufficient for what you need, because the average package of a website is less than, let's say with the Joomla installation, that's about 50 megabytes or so, or around there, something like that. Okay, so 20 gigs is more than enough. Even when you start to add content on there, you'd have to add a lot of stuff on your actual server for you to max out this 20 gigs. So if you get 25,000 views per month, then they recommend this one, which for the most companies and most startups and small businesses, they generally don't get 25,000 views per month. I'm talking about just the basic one that they don't usually do much marketing for them. It's just, but then again, based on your marketing. So let me be clear, based on the marketing efforts that you have. If you think that you're going to be able to promote and get more than 25,000 views per month, then you need to upgrade. But if you're getting started, you want to try things out for a few months and see if you exceed that, then you want to be able to go and, of course, upgrade. And they have a free website transfer. What that means is they would transfer your website from another host to somewhere else, from another host to their site. And this is really good because if you have another Joomla site on a different server, they would transfer that for you based on this. I might be wrong, but I think that's what that means, because typically when they have free transfers, then they would do that transfer for you. And then free SSL certificate. You have free SSL certificate, and then you have the premium one. Now, when you sign up, you will get a free one, which is, as general. It's usually good because now search engines like Google recommends that you have SSL certificate on your website for security reasons. So this one doesn't come with any warranties, okay? Generally speaking, maybe there's due, but generally speaking, it doesn't come with any warranty. So you look at the pricing here. If you pay 1 month, this is how much it ends out to be. If you pay for 1 year, 2 years, 3, you can pay years in advance. So this is what they're offering right now. They offer 24/7 expert support, which is always good because this is Joomla specific. The support that you're getting is going to be Joomla specific, which is very vital. And the PHP, which is 7.4, is the latest one. You want to upgrade to that, and it's optimized for that. So what that means is that your website is going to run a lot smoother. It's going to have the latest security updates, any patches, anything that has to do with that. And the web firewall right now is also set up for protection and more, which I'm going to cover security later on. But those are things that you need to understand how that works. At 24/7. This is really, really vital. You never want to go with a web hosting company that does not provide 24/7 support. You always want to make sure that they're able to provide 27, support, because sometimes if your website goes down in the middle of the night, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and you don't know what's going on, you stuck, then it's like, wait a minute, you need that. So some of the features that when you're looking for a web hosting company to have is the automated backups. Or automatic backups. Once again, I've not used this company and I'm not endorsing them. I'm just giving an example for what to look for. I have no affiliations or partnerships or anything like that with them. Let me be very clear about that. So you have automatic backups. Automatic backups are really great because they help you to back up your website automatically. It can be once a week, twice a week, or things like that. And you have the Joomla utility cPanel plugin. You have the system migration. You have the WF protection, SSH, all the stuff that optimize MySQL, all this some of the technical stuff that you don't really need to know in details, but it's good to have an idea about it. So now let us go over to another one here. Hostgator. Now, once again, I've used Hostgator extensively for years, and I'm on the fence about them. In terms of do I recommend them? I'm still on the fence because when I started Hostgator in the early days, early 2000, the guy that hosted it, had it, did an excellent job, and everything was really moving smoothly. Then it got sold in 2012, and things went downhill. I remember one time, my server was down for a few days. It was issues, and they seemed to work through some of that. But I'm just saying that because that put me through hell. Hostgator put me through hell for a little bit there. So, but once again, things have changed, and they seem to kind of rebounded, somewhat. Now, the reason why I'm showing you Hostgator here is that I want to go over the different type of web hosting that you're going to come across. You have what's called just a normal web hosting. Let's take a look at this here. And with the normal web hosting, you get a single domain. You can choose to compare all the plans. So let's check this out. And in the compare plans, you kind of go through. So once again, a package like this is really great for a small startup. you don't have a lot of content or excessive content, and you're not projecting to have excess within the upcoming months. So you just want to get started. You don't want to get into all, budget is real limited. You don't have that much to spend, and you just want to get your domain, your website up and going. So these are some of the packages: the disk space unmetered, bandwidth unmetered, which is really great, meaning that there's really no amount that you can go over, but it kind of gives you more flexibility. You have one domain name for this price, and you have unlimited. You have free SSL certificate, which again is the free one. There's no warranties on there. You have a dedicated IP address. You have to get the business one for that. And this have 24/7 support. They have instant backup. They have no contracts for all of them. Now, in terms of Joomla support, Hostgator is not a Joomla supported company in a way. Let me explain what that means. Take, for example, like this Roshan, where they have people specifically for Joomla. Now, Hostgator do have some admins that know Joomla, but if you're talking to a general staff, they're not Joomla pros. It's where a company like this one, where they say that they have Joomla support, can answer your Joomla questions, fix your Joomla problems. Now, Hostgator, they can too, but you typically have to escalate your whatever you need help with to upper level admin for you to get the support that you need. If you speak with someone on the phone or you chatting with them, 9 out of 10 times they really have no clue in terms of how Joomla really works, because they're not trained for Joomla. So you have the MySQL, you have the CGI, you have the Fast. So all these are good. PHP 5, the latest version of PHP is 7.4. So anything less than PHP 7, you want to upgrade to that. Ruby and Rails, SSH. Like SSH, you don't have to worry about all this stuff, like your web developer and all that stuff. The Python, the cron job, which I'll cover cron later on. But a cron job helps you to automate certain tasks. You don't have to worry about the G2. This is something too for images that's definitely needed, but the image stick, streaming video, so you come through email hosting. So this is giving like an idea of all the stuff that you're going to have on your site, instant blogs. This is for your server. Once again, it's not just specific to Joomla. So you have the web hosting. Now you have the VPS. It's the next type of hosting. A VPS gives you a little more flexibility, and if you want to read here through to kind of go through there, you can see, no, don't need that now. And it goes through a little more all the stuff that you have, advanced features, flexibility. You get a WHM panel for this. Now, a WHM panel, you don't have to manage that yourself. They can help you with that, which is called manage. You have CPU 2 core, which just come 2, so that's good. The RAM, 2 gigabytes. Now, this is really great for someone that say, you know what, I want to be able to add multiple websites. And I am projecting that within the upcoming months, I'm going to have a lot of content. I'm going to have a lot of things that I need to have enough space. 120 gigs is pretty decent to start off with. So if you have a little more in your budget, then for $29 per month, but you have to pay months in advance to get this rate, I believe. So 129 and then 165 and then 240. Now, if you could go for the 240, I definitely recommend that one because that gives you a lot more space. And for the bandwidth, it's 1.5 terabytes, which is a lot and more than enough that you need IP addresses. You have 2 IPs to all of them coming to. So that's good too. Multiple security. With the security here, they have the FreeIP firewall, centralized DDoS protection, secured VPS. So the DDoS, that's really key because this helps with your database protection. And they do have some extensions that protect your Joomla site. So the DDoS attack, that's something that you have to watch out for. Our cutting edge server, Intel processor. So in a nutshell, this pretty much gives you enough of what you need for those small businesses that you say, you know what, I want to be able to do a little bit more with my business. I want to be able to reach more people, so I'm willing to put some dollars into my marketing or whatever it is to get more. Then here, this gives you a lot more in terms of space, in terms of security, and it gives you more flexibility. And then you have the dedicated server. A dedicated server, this is the top of the top, like the top of their top line, where if you have the money to spend and you say you want to start off strong, really strong, you start off at $140,000. This is for the first month. It goes up after that. But you get 4-core, 8-thread, you get Intel Xeon DCP, you get 8 gigs of RAM, the 1 terabyte HDD, unmetered bandwidth, Linux or Windows. So this is for the companies that say you want to be a little more aggressive, okay, in terms of your server power. Because once again, when it comes to hosting, the bottom line is this: the more expensive it is, the more flexibility that you're going to get and the more control that you're going to get. Now with this one here, you get your own server, which you're still leasing per month. You don't own it. And as I mentioned before in a previous training, is that when you're done with servers, you don't want to own it at this stage because it's very expensive, and the technicalities behind it too. If you don't have people that really understand servers, you just throw money in the trash can. Like, it's not worth it, so it's better. And you get 30 gigs of RAM and 1 terabyte of SSD, not HDD. This is hard drive and this is SSD. SSD are generally a lot faster than HDD because they process stuff so much quicker. So that's why if you can go for this big package, you definitely want to be able to do that. So once again, we went over basic things that you need to pay attention to, and you want to pay attention to the amount of space that you get, because that's going to be key. Your RAM, you want to pay attention to the RAM. You want to pay attention to the space that you get. If you go with something like this one here, where you want to host multiple sites, then you can, look at their offering. And also, if you have questions, don't be afraid to live chat. This one have a live chat. You can talk to them. I guess this guy here, he must be there. You can talk to them. You can call them as well. Don't be afraid to call the web hosting company and say, listen, I'm interested in using your services, but I have a few questions. I have this, that, and the other. They are going to answer whatever questions that you have. So make sure that you call the companies and talk to them, talk to a person. The best time to call is during, just call different hours. Okay. Try them out. Call them like at 2 o'clock in the morning and see if you get the same response as you do at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. So call different hours, because sometimes I noticed this. I learned this the hard way. A company promoted their 24/7, and I called them one time at like between 1 and 3 o'clock in the morning, and I couldn't get anybody. And I was like, oh my goodness, my website is down. I'm stuck and I'm not able to get support. But this one I got started. So make sure that you call them at different times to test out how it works. Make sure it's really something that's really there, that live 24/7 support is really live 24/7 support. So this gives you a really good idea for your hosting that you want to take. And then you have to manage the cloud hosting. But for now, if you're getting started, okay, you just want to go with a normal web hosting business. So if you have a small website that you don't have extensive amount of details or a lot of content, then you want to go like a basic web hosting, or with this Roshan's here with their one site. If you have a little bit more and you think that you're going to be able to do that, they even have a reseller package here as well. So reseller, if you want to sell hosting to other companies, then you can get this one here. Now, this is when I started online, my web hosting company in 2007, 7, when I launched my web hosting company. This is, I didn't use this company per se, but the whole idea of hosting sites for clients, I did that, and it was a learning experience for me. I learned so many things, and it was, at first it was challenging, but after a little while it gets easier. So that's why I do this live training with you guys, so that you can be able to, kind of skip the learning curve and kind of get through things a lot faster. So now that you've seen this here, these are great ways for you to get started with the web hosting. It's so important, and I can never overemphasize this, that you choose a web hosting company that is going to grow with your site. They are going to provide the support that you need. Okay, there's some things that only the web hosting companies can do on their end, that even though I do Joomla training, I can't do it for you, because they would have to do that on their back end. But I want you to understand what that entails and what that's meant for, and whatever else that has to go on for that. So as you can see, your Joomla website comprises of a whole lot, so many things, that it's not just one. Now that you understand the big picture, as you're growing with your site, you know that different things that you need to pay attention to. you know? So whether you're a one-man team or you got a lot of people on your team, these are some key things that you want to make sure that you're focusing on. Get people, hire people that understand about server security, which we're going to cover later on, to be able to do that, you know, for you.